Add a stream. Hey guys, welcome to another Saturday night on my late broadcast. Boy, what a day, been running and everything, but you guys aren't worried about that. Let's just think about getting into the show. And of course, any other time the computer starts up just fine. Did an update last night and it took forever to get going. So here's my 50 excuses on why I'm late. Welcome to another Saturday night. Should be a great night. We have Mike and Hope already getting slack in the comment section. We have Mike and Hope from Jamestown, New York. They're part of the Jamestown Paranormal Investigators. I hope I said that right. I see Mike is sitting in the wings, and we're waiting on Hope to come in so we could add her as soon as she's ready. Mike, if you're ready, I'll give me a thumbs up, and I'll throw you on. Without further ado, can you? No, Matt, we weren't making cupcakes. Mike, how you doing, my friend?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Finally, hoping to settle down a little bit. And
I hear you.
I appreciate your patience. I know I tried to get a hold of you earlier to let you know that I was running late, and you were nice enough to allow to give me a little extra time.
No problem. Hey, I just got a message from Hope. She says she's in, but she can't hear you or see you.
I see her background, but I don't see her. I see where it would be a stock background of hers. I could put her in and see if
yeah, she says she's trying, but
I see it starting to change. I'll add her to the stream and we'll go see if that makes a difference. Hello, Hope. You can see what I'm seeing, right?
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
And can you see the chat over on the left-hand side? Or you're right, I guess.
Well, I can see the piano and everything down below in another house, but that's not Hope's house.
That's a green screen effect.
Oh, got you.
I cannot hear you, Hope, or see you. She put on a private message.
She says she can't hear us. There, I can hear you.
We can hear you, yes.
Okay.
Can't see you.
How do I make it that you can see me?
Are you using Zoom? Well, no, you wouldn't be using Zoom.
No.
Go to cam settings.
Okay.
Oh,
okay. What the heck? Oh.
There you go.
All right.
Hey, there you are.
Okay. Sorry. I couldn't figure it out on my iPhone, so I had to plug in my microphone and my camera for my computer, and I'm like, I hope this works.
Well, I'm very happy that I wasn't the only one having technical difficulties tonight. Nice to meet you, Hope. This is the first time I know we're speaking face-to-face at all. Mike, if we have spoke, it's been throughout the years at one of your paranormal events. Okay. I believe we stopped for a moment and spoke to each other.
Yeah.
Boy, we got a nice little crowd going on here. Room. Probably half of them took off while we were waiting on me. Can you see the chat?
Yes. I can see
yeah, I can see it.
Okay, good. Because that kind of helps as well as I could bring stuff up on the screen too. Yeah, this is in reference. Matt does a show on Friday nights that I like to crash and such. And my granddaughter makes cupcakes. She's 6 years old and she just loves making cupcakes for her adopted grandfather, which is Lee from our group. And she happened on his show last night. They happened to catch the chat, and anyways, so now I'm being harassed with cupcakes.
Oh, it's okay.
But so, as I explained to you guys, this is should be a very relaxed situation. I hope you guys are comfortable, and if there's anything that you don't care to talk about, that's fine too. Pretty much, do me a favor, and if you will, introduce yourselves.
Go ahead, Hope.
Okay, my name's Hope. I'm case manager investigator with Jamestown Paranormal Investigators.
My name is Mike Polero. I am founder and investigator for Jamestown Paranormal Investigators.
And how long has JPI, if you don't mind me calling it that, has been a group?
Since 2010.
Really?
Yeah. There's been other groups before that, but I was the co-founder of another group before that, and a co-founder for a group before that one. So I've been around for a while.
So you've been in for some time.
Yes, sir.
And Hope, is this the first group you've been part of?
Yes. Yep. And I've been with JPI. It's been 4 years.
About 4 years.
4 years. Yeah. Now. So yeah, but it's the first group I've ever been part of, paranormal wise. Yeah.
I'm throwing this on now. I was just typing that in. I hope I spelled it right. And that's your Facebook page.
Right. Yep.
Thank you. So you guys been primarily in the Jamestown, New York area.
Correct.
Fun. And that's where I was born and raised, and some of my family, a lot of my family's there, a couple of my sons. I know you do a lot of community outreach with your group. And
we do. We try to help the community, get back to the community is what we try to do. We've had a few conventions through the years, which went well. We helped out American Breast Cancer Society, childhood cancer, Carly's Club in Buffalo Hospital. We were working on the bullying situation. Now this year we are working on to fight epilepsy. We have a GoFundMe page out there, and we put some auctions out on our convention page on Facebook. And so the money that we raise for that will go to the Dent Center in Buffalo. They help out a lot of children and grown-ups from our area. So that's what we're up to about that.
Wow, I don't see how you're able to investigate when you have all that stuff going on.
That's why I have hope.
Yeah.
Figuratively and literally.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Now you're the founder, and what's your title within the group? Do you guys have titles, or is it just kind of a?
We have titles. So Mike's our founder, our team leader, as I call him to everyone. I case manager investigator, so I do a lot of the research on the properties before we go into the properties, and I do all the phone calls with our clients. So just to get some background information, and then set up the meetings for Mike and I to meet with them, and then we have other investigators on the team, and we also have a tech person. So
How many members do you have on your team?
We have 6.
6.
And they've been there. Doesn't sound like from day one, though, does it? It sounds like they've joined throughout the years.
Yeah. I had 2 investigators, Jen and Thomas. They've been with me for a very, very long time. Hope has been with me now for 4 years. And then we have Aaron, and we have Nate. They're newcomers. Erin's probably been what, Hope? She's been here 2 years now.
Yeah, I would think at least 2.
And Nate just popped in here about a year ago, so it's kind of an old and young kind of team.
Very cool. Now, is this a site that you would go to for like your auctions and information like that? Your website?
Yes. Go ahead, Hope. You run that.
Yeah, the main website just has some background information about who we are, how long we've been in the Jamestown area, the reason for starting it, how to get a hold of us, some different types of hauntings. There's another website that we have, though, that will lead you to the auctions. And Mike, you have that one.
Right. And that's just on the Facebook there, Jamestown Paranormal Convention.
Paranormal Convention.
Yeah, that's where we hold our auctions and our benefits. We run it off of that. We don't run anything through JPI's Facebook page. That's completely different than what the convention is. So we keep them kind of separate.
But they're able to find the links and the information to get to that site through the
absolutely
below. Great. Because I don't know if I got much more room to put anything else down.
No,
there.
You're fine. All they got to remember is Jamestown Paranormal Convention. It will pop right up.
Nice. Now we're getting a question quite quick, and I see Matt saying that he's already found your Facebook and liked it and following.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it, man.
And here's a question. We'll just get to questions kind of quick. So from Jennifer, where are the best 3 local places you've investigated? Now, you guys are on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook right now. I like to do 3 together, and that way I don't have to do one site and then just copy them over and all that. So, Hope, it looks like you're ready to answer it.
I am. Well, and Mike's smiling because Jennifer, that's an awesome question, but we actually have contracts with our clients and we are not allowed to release information. So we can have some pictures up as long as it doesn't show pictures of being able to, tell where the home is actually located or who lives in the home. And we're not allowed to release the name of the place that we go to or even the business that we go to. It's very rare to find a personal home or a business that actually allows us to release that information. So unfortunately, we cannot share that with you because there's actually some businesses we've investigated that a lot of people don't actually know that they're there or what they do. And so for privacy reasons, we can't. And they literally sign off on a contract form and everything. And that's kind of the sad thing is because it kind of makes our social media and such look kind of slow and boring. And we can talk about the Spire.
And I was about to say,
we can talk
about
that.
Do the Spire Theater in Jamestown. That was really a hook.
Yeah.
Before you get to that point, let me just kind of change the question a little bit to where are a few places, and it sounds like Spire might be one of them. Not so much where you've investigated, but where are some of the top things that happen at these places that they would be interested in? Like
I remember
scares maybe.
We actually have done the Reginald A Theater also in Jamestown.
Okay.
There's two. There's 2 for you.
Yeah.
Spire Theater, which is by the post office, correct?
Across the road from the post office. Yep.
And the Lucille.
We also did the library. That was allowed to be publicized. So there's your 3.
That was before my time.
Yeah.
Now, see, I have not heard of anything about the library before. Pretty interesting.
The library was kind of nice. We've done a couple libraries. We've done, I want to say Dunkirk Library or something like that a long time ago. Then we did Jamestown's, but.
And we have done other theaters without releasing names. We have done other theaters like.
Well, we can release
some.
we can release some Gowanda because we did an event there.
Yep.
How about
we can release that?
How about if we leave it to where, if you're not sure, Hope, if it's a place that can be mentioned, Mike, you kind of handle a lot of the stuff too, you might be able to say, like you've been doing, yes, we could mention this place, or you go ahead and mention it, and you go ahead if you have any personal details. If that sounds good.
Let's get back to the spider. The spider was, I'm sorry, I said spider. Fire.
I hope
like,
you're
what?
The tongue got stuck for a minute. Damn it. Anyway, the spider was really, it was very interesting. We did it a couple times, and every time we went there, we always got something different. You know, there's a video out there of us Hope and I are in the basement, and when we were just doing EVP work, and then all of a sudden something just came up and got me in the back, and we got pictures and video of that out there. Hope didn't feel too excited about going back down there after that night, but I kind of talked her into it for a little bit. But
it's because at the beginning part of the night, I was standing off to the corner as we were just, because we take a walkthrough of the location that we're at to see where we want to set up cameras and what's going on, the hot spots. And I felt something playing with the back of my necklace, and I thought, well, maybe it's just a cobweb or something, but it kept doing it. It like started to tug on it, and I was like, okay, wait a minute, hold on. You're not allowed to touch, first of all. And then as soon as we went upstairs, something literally took its hand like across my arm like this. And I was like, oh, okay, time out. You know, because we don't invite for anything to touch us. And then so I was like, I was kind of hesitant to go back down there because I have known of stories of Mike being scratched or pushed. And so I stayed on the stairs. But then something started messing with my necklace again. Over right at the bottom of the stairs, and our meter started going off, our K2 meter, and then I went to look at Mike to say something, and just when I went to do that, that's when it pushed him forward, and you can see him fly forward in the video, and then his back on the right side was burning, and he had 3 scratches across the back, and he had 2 shirts on, so it literally got him through the 2 shirts.
Now there is an option of share down where your camera settings and such are. That's for like if you got a video or something on your computer that you want to share, feel free, pictures or whatever. You don't have to. It's not a big deal, but that option is there if you choose to. But that's pretty wicked there, though. Getting the scratches and messed with like that.
It didn't like me, and it doesn't like me today, probably.
You have plans on going back?
Yeah, I go back. I'll go back in a heartbeat. I'll go back anywhere. People ask me all the time, what's your favorite place you investigated? I said my next one. You know, so it's just, you know, I really can't pick a favorite one because every one that we have done, which we have done a lot of cases, I don't really know if there's actually a favorite because out of all of what we've done, we have came up with some really good evidence, and 80% of the time we do private homes and we help people in the end. So how can you pick one from another as long as you're helping somebody, you know?
Right. Go ahead, Hope.
I was going to say, I don't know. I kind of think we can put this out there because it's on their website. And I only did 1 investigation with you guys there, but the hotel in Bemis. I think that was pretty.
The Lionheart?
Lenhart.
Lenhart.
Yeah.
Lenhart.
They actually have it on their website and advertise that.
Nice.
Hey, Hope, Matt is asking you a question.
No, we would branch out to public and historic sites. We have been to historic sites. As much as I can give about the historic site, like landmarks of houses that are on the historic registry. Okay, we have been to a location out in Casadega that is a historic site. So we have branched out to historic sites.
Now, most of the places you're going to speak of tonight is New York based with some slight into Pennsylvania or other places. I mean, I know you guys been like in the Warren area and there's maybe Sheffield or something like that. But for the most part, 98% would be New York.
Yeah,
correct.
Yes.
Hello, Stephanie. Glad you can make it. Where we got a pretty nice group building up. I know you guys can't see the numbers. I see. Have you? I'm sure you guys heard of the Tamarack Swamps. Have you guys been out that way?
No, we haven't.
Have you heard of it? You guys kind of looking like you might not have heard of it.
I
don't know.
haven't. Why haven't I?
Maybe it's more of a Pennsylvania thing. It's been a while since I've heard about it, so I really don't have enough information to really share. I've heard it's one of those local legends, where kind of like I don't know. I'm trying to think of Jamestown now. It's been a while since I thought of Jamestown. It's one of those things where people that live in the area says, "Oh, this place is haunted," and there's a lot of people that will say that. Jen or anybody that wants to give a quick description in the comments about some of the things that go on in Tamarack. I believe that's out by Corey, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And I'm not quite sure. Hope was at the place that has had multiple fires in Bemis. Oh, the hotel, I believe, is what she's asking.
Yeah.
Oh,
back in the
yes.
day.
Yes.
Yeah, the original had burnt at one point, and I don't remember the date. I used to know that, but it was many, many years ago, and then they rebuilt, and
then the second fire took off in the back side of the upstairs or something like that.
Now, was there
I don't think it burned down twice. I think it only burned down once.
Was there any deaths associated with the fires or anything?
I don't think so with the fires,
but with the hotel in general, and
because it was a doctor, wasn't it?
Doctor's office, yeah.
The doctors, he would bring his patients to live there while he took care of them.
Yeah.
Nice. We got somebody, James, who's tuning in from Ontario, Canada. Which he will be on this show next week. I think.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I've been blessed so far that everybody that I spoke to, other than Penny, if you find this, I'm asking you again, come on. Everybody else has been gracious enough to accept the invitation.
Penny's cool though.
It's Penny is. I like. We've gotten along
cool.
so well.
Yeah.
I haven't convinced her yet to get on. She said she's. Well, I appreciate that. She says she's too nervous. That she doesn't like being on camera. I'm like, I hate being on camera, but
it is what it is.
But hanging out with people with like minds, and that's been experiencing these investigations and such. It's nice to kind of once you start relaxing a little bit, it's nice and a lot of fun to do these videos. I mean, how often are you going to speak to people from other areas like Ontario? Like we've had Matt had on last night a group from Wisconsin, which their group is Wisconsin Area Paranormal Society. When I try to say their name after saying my name, you think I'm a prize idiot. So out of the chats, Matt brings this up, and we do bring this up. What are some places, if you were able to go and just get into investigate, where would be one of your top places you'd like to do that?
Oh, where do I start?
What's your paranormal bucket list?
Well, I've been to Rolling Hills. That was one of them, but I'd love to go to New Orleans. That would be.
New Orleans would be nice. I like to go to any kind of prison.
Mm-hmm. West Virginia, the one in Pittsburgh.
Alcatraz. See, Alcatraz would be sweet.
There is a place that's not too far from you guys that, oh my God, my personal bucket list, and I haven't said this on camera before. Some of the people that know me would know. And you guys, and I might get this wrong, it's out by Fredonia. I want to say it's J.B. Adams.
That's out by Perrysburg.
Right.
Perrysburg, out by there.
I would love to get in there.
The story about that is, years ago, there was a group that tried to restore or keep it as is or whatever, and there was a bunch of paranormal groups that got together, and they got out there one weekend and they cleaned everything up around there. They cleaned outside. They were not allowed inside the building, but somehow someone managed to get in there and take a lot of pictures. But they cleaned up a lot down there, and they wanted to be able to get a grant to fix that place so they can do paranormal investigating and stuff like that. And the town just shut them down.
I think they're going about it the wrong way. I think they should find a part of the building that's somewhat safe and have people come in and pay for it. And then once they get a little bit of that coming in, progress to open it up further. I think just my opinion, I think they would not even have to worry about grants and would end up doing well.
Well, that's what was the story, years ago. What's going on with that now, I don't know. All I know is, you get caught trespassing, you're going to jail. That's simple as that.
I was out front the gate one night, sitting on the road, just kind of seeing what I could see, and cops were there probably within 30 minutes. What are you doing here? Or have you been on the other side? That kind of deal. And of course, we haven't. And I would never admit to them I had if we would have. But
right.
But we were, we try to be respectful, and we try not to trespass and such when, we try not to break the law when we are aware of the law. Sometimes some places you don't know they're closed down late at night or whatever.
Right. See, what we do if we go into a business or something like that, Hope or the client will get a hold of the police department the day before and let them know that we are in there. Because we do that because we've had that happen to us one time before. We were in an old funeral home, wasn't it? Oh,
no, it was Catholic school.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was a school, and we were running around the building with flashlights and shit like that, and all of a sudden, bang bang, here comes the cops knocking on the door. We had to show them our paperwork that we were allowed there.
Nice. Well, good thing you had the paperwork.
Yeah, well, Hope's pretty good with that. She keeps it all written down with pink ink and stuff like that. So
you're funny. Well, and we call. It's interesting to always call the police department.
And I was going to ask.
Hope from Jamestown Paranormal Investigators. We're going to be at such and such location. So if you see any flashlights or anything going on, a couple times I get chuckles, but they're like, okay. So, they just kind of know who we are at this point. So, and especially with some of the areas that we go to in Jamestown, they need to be aware that you might see someone at 2 a.m. with flashlights and a couple different cars. And so
Jamestown can be notorious in spots for sure. Like I imagine one night we were leaving a case, me being Wasp, and I'm sure it probably would have went down differently if we would have been, say, coming out on Lakeview Avenue or something. We were leaving the house about 3:00 in the morning with monitors and equipment and all that, and a cop just happened to be. It was a corner house with a stop sign, and the cop just happened to be there, and he rolls down the window, nice and casual. And he's like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" And we're like, "We're okay. What you up to?" I'm like, "Not what you're thinking." And as soon as we explained it, he was pretty cool about it. But I imagine they probably would have had a different tune up there, depending on where we are in Lakewood, Jamestown.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And they got a lot more reason to be on guard. Warren's a little more slow paced,
right?
Things. We got a lot of paragraphs going on here in the chat. James, I think most of us would agree nobody likes being on cameras. Generally, as we are into things, we don't think of the cameras as much. That same as you guys would agree.
Yeah, cameras.
I'm very aware of the camera at all times and try to avoid it. But it's okay.
I don't blame you. Sometimes you
Especially
just
with me with my camcorder.
Wow, that actually all showed up on there. Sorry for blocking you, Hope.
No, you're fine. Really, it's good.
Can you read that?
Yep.
This is about the swamp.
Oh, I think I do remember hearing about that. Oh, okay. That sounds vaguely familiar. That's very sad. Yes. Okay. Interesting.
Well, is that are you thinking of that, or are you thinking about their out there in Fredonia has something similar? If I remember correctly.
I think I heard something about this years ago.
I think we did. Because I remember, I remember trying to. I don't know. I know. It's this incident. I do remember either reading about it or
I heard
hearing
about
about it when I was researching places to investigate and reach out to. Interesting. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yes, Jen, I really appreciate it because, yeah, we have the computer in front of us and such, but you don't want to sit there and watch us for 20 minutes trying to type and read and do all. So the information, the guests, those watch and share are always appreciated. I'm so lucky that I have a core of people like I do that comes in every week that we're on and chats and such. It's been a blessing. Now, if somebody were to get a hold of you guys and say, like, friends or family, and said, look, I'm gonna be in the area this weekend, where's a fun place that we could go to kind of be spooked a little bit and have some fun investigating? Where would you guys recommend? Public and such that they can get to, or even if they need to pay a couple dollars for some of the places like Penhurst and such would. But I'm thinking local, like Jamestown, Bemis.
We don't have a lot of places like that locally, which is kind of sad. Unfortunately, they're not.
We have no place.
They're not
here
very big on that here.
Somebody can just go and pay. No.
Yeah, no, they're not big on it. A lot of people don't want to talk about the paranormal around here, especially the businesses. They don't really want to have any involvement with that. So they would have to travel. The only place that I could think of that they could even go to during the day for free would be like Guernsey Hollow out in Frewsburg. That's, there's some claims out there, but you can't be there past a certain time because it's pretty well
really
monitored.
early. It's 4 p.m. is supposed to be the cutout time.
Yeah, so that's changed so they could get in there. But otherwise, unfortunately, yeah, Jamestown doesn't. Well, there's the lighthouse out in Fredonia. They could.
Yeah, you can pay Bill out there. I think that's his name.
Yeah.
But I mean, saying just to say, like, you guys can point them to, say, like Allen Park. It's nice and creepy down through there at night.
They don't let anyone in there, though. We've tried.
No?
Yeah, they won't even let us in. Yeah, there's really no place around here like a Rolling Hills Asylum. Or
spend the night at the Lenhart.
Yeah, well, that's it. So if you want to, yeah, you'd have to spend the night at the Lenhart and hope that you'd have something there, which, it's
9 times out of 10, you do.
This is Lee's comment about Lee is the co-founder of Warren Area Society Paranormal, as if you guys didn't know the name of the group.
Right.
He was, I think it was next to me when the cop seen us and was like,
That's funny.
It was, the cop could have definitely took it a different way. Yeah. I seen the same officer like a month later or so. Unfortunately, it was in the ER. I was just leaving with my girlfriend, and the cop was coming in for some reason, and he kind of stops and looks. He's like, "Hey, aren't you that paranormal guy?" Speaking of things like that, have you ever been to the store or whatever and just had somebody say, "Hey, you're"?
Yep. I've had that many times. My wife would get so mad at me because we'd go to Walmart or somewhere and, somebody would stop me and say, "Hey, you're the paranormal guy," I actually, be honest with you, years ago at Walmart, this lady had her 8-year-old daughter have a picture taken with me because I was the paranormal guy at Jamestown. My wife, she just looked at me and just walked away. You know, she knows that. You know, but yeah, I get that all the time. You know, a couple guys around Facebook, they call me the Godfather because I've been in it so long. You know, but yeah, you know, I get that all the time. You're a paranormal guy. Yeah. I am. You know.
Nice. Oh, have you experienced that?
I don't think as much. I have it more at work. More of my colleagues are finding out more and more that I'm part of a paranormal group. And so they'll come up and they'll ask me questions about it, or they'll be like, how have I worked with you for so long and I didn't know this about you or something. But yeah, I don't.
Are you happy that you're being more noticed, or would you prefer the internet? Yeah, that works.
Yeah, kind of like flying under the radar and behind the scenes, hence being the case manager. I just kind of behind the scenes of everything, but it's all right. You know, I think the reason why I sometimes, I don't want to say was afraid of it or it bothered me, is because people have such strong opinions, and I'm a very open-minded and accepting person. And so I just tend to kind of want to avoid that controversy sometimes, because a lot of people don't believe in what we do. They don't understand what we do. And, you know, some people aren't very nice about it. So it's, you know, I don't know, I'm getting better with it. And I'm getting like, okay, well, this is my belief. This is what I feel. This is why I feel this way. And if they don't agree, then they can respectfully not agree with me. But so I'm getting better. But, you know, so I used to kind of avoid too much talking about it, conversation, because of just how people react to it. It's amazing how some people react.
Now, speaking of how people react, and we'll get to those making questions in the comment section. We'll go to those in a minute. Mike, have you met much resistance when you started the group, or from local people in general, or has it always been warm reception?
No, not really. Like I said, I've been into this since 1996, maybe. Started out with a group called Chautauqua County Paranormal Society. Didn't really do much with that, but when East Coast Paranormal Society came along, no, I didn't really have a lot of people. Everybody was kind of interested in it, you know. They would actually find time to sit and ask me a couple questions here or there. It wasn't really hard to get accepted. And then when we did our first convention, it just went off the hook. I mean, we didn't expect to have that many people there, but seemed like the community was intrigued in it for a while, tuned into it. Not so much anymore. I mean, like Hope was saying, people they don't want to admit, or they don't want to believe, or whatever it may be, or they just don't want us in there because they think that we're going to do more harm than good. You know, so nowadays it's harder than it was when I first started, if that answers your question.
I could agree. Plus, a lot of people's mind the last year has been so connected with the COVID and all that kind of stuff. You know, the pandemic has took people's general attention away from hobbies and such. And this, roughly, unless you're on TV or professors or whatever, is a hobby. I hate to say, at least in my opinion. And yeah.
See, the thing is,
he has a similar haircut.
So that's the thing about TV shows and us real people out here, you know. If we go someplace and we don't get something, we don't get it. I'm sorry, that might not be the answer that you want, but I'd rather tell you that your house is not haunted than your house is haunted. You know?
I've seen people disappointed when we come back and say, sorry.
You called us for help. We're going to give you the truth. Like it or not, that's what it is. You know, if you're a goofball, well, then 9 times out of 10, I'll probably tell you that through the night somewhere down the line. But,
oh boy.
Yeah, you know, that sounds like that's a personal, like you've done that. I mean, she's like, oh boy, I remember those nights.
That at all.
Yeah, but it's just we want to put something. We want to give the people set their mind at ease. Like the place that we just did last weekend, it was a private home I was telling you about earlier. They're very much in tune to it, and they want us to find something, but they don't give us time to go through our stuff before they're texting us back. Hey, we're ready for you to come back and give us your analysis. We're not even halfway through our stuff yet. You got to give us a minute.
I don't think people realize how much even just the basics of basic setups still has hours, almost 24 hours sometimes worth of stuff. And it's not, if you're lucky, every person in the team is able to help you analyze and go through stuff. But most cases, that's not the reality. People are working, we're not TV stars. So if you get
what we do is, is Hope, she goes through her EVPs. I'll go through mine. I'll go through pictures. Hope will go through her pictures. Our other investigator, he'll go through some EVPs. And then when it's time to go through the DVR, we just message everybody in the group and say, hey, look, we're going to do the DVR this on a certain night. If you can make it, great. If you can't, no biggie. It has to get done if you're here or they're not here. And 9 times out of 10, we get the group that come down here and we just sit through, the DVR. And like I tell people, I says, if we're at your house for 8 hours and we're running 5 cameras, 6 cameras, when we go back home to watch that, it's not going to take 8 hours for us to watch that because we can't watch 6 cameras at once.
Right, and not do it right
time. We haven't forgot about you. We'll get to you when we get everything done, and
no news is good news sometimes.
Yeah, we got some pretty good news for this lady coming up. I think we might be able to set her mind at ease a little bit. And we'll be able to allow to show everybody what we got. But the point, we do not share anything until we go to the client first. We do have permission to show what we got, but out of respect, we take it to the client before we send it out on, social media. So just be looking for it. It's coming.
That way they're not surprised. Let's see some of the stuff in the comments section before it gets too far ahead of us. This is referring back to the police stopping us. And the whole ID thing was that last night on Matt's show, I was saying about how I was turned away from entering into Canada because I didn't have my ID. So that's what that's in reference to. You should... I guess since you're the godfather, I owe you a fedora.
All right, that's good.
I always wear one.
I need one. I'll be waiting for that. Hit me up later. I'll give you my address.
Hey guys, if you could donate $3 each, so I can buy a fedora.
Yeah, I gotta send it out.
$3. Matt also says, "Hope I agree. I've had people look down at me for the paranormal back from when I asked you the question of, are you okay with being known as paranormal?" I thought there was another question in here that I missed. Oh, here's one that I missed.
Home.
We were just talking about this earlier. Yeah, Mike's house.
Yeah, Mike's house.
Yeah.
Just bring the fedora.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about this today, Hope and I were, about maybe somewhere down the line getting, a nice little office space someplace, but we're in Jamestown. We'll go there one night and go back the next night and half our stuff will be gone.
Mike.
So, you just...
Jamestown does have a lot of issues, but there's a lot of
a lot of good people here, man.
There's a lot of people like you that's taking the opportunity to try to find ways to help the community out. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that don't know the steps to take to even get started to help, and that's a shame.
It took a while because we weren't really quite sure what we wanted to do, but we knew we wanted to help, but we didn't know where we wanted to go with it, And it took a while, and And then one day we just having a meeting that says, why don't we try to help our community, help the kids in our community. The kids are the most important thing in the community because they're going to have to they're going to be growing up into this. We got, so it stuck with kids. We did do breast cancer for our first year, and we did do good on that. We didn't raise enough money, but we raised enough money where we could help put in a new machine at the hospital for that. So that was kind of cool with that. We had all kinds of speakers there. We had, Eric Altman, the Bigfoot guy, he was there. We just had UFO guys, a bunch of paranormal groups that would come in, and it turned out really well. And after that, it was just all about kids. Do this for the kids, do that for the kids.
Now, speaking from somebody that had our team at one of your events at the theater there, we had a blast there, not only talking with people and, that was interested in the paranormal, people coming in to see everybody, but also going through and talking to the other teams and the different crystals and metaphysical things and such that was there. So thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome.
It was nice to have everybody together. We ended up going to the store next door where you guys were getting t-shirts and such made, and got a bunch of decals for our cars made.
There you go.
From I can't remember the kid's name. Unfortunately,
I can't remember there. Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's not there anymore.
No, there's not really a lot going on with the Reds. The Reds took over everything now, the whole storefronts and everything now. They just, where he was now was something to do with Wild Bill.
Oh, John Hitchcock. Is that who used to be there, John Hitchcock?
No, I believe his last name was
there, but there was a younger kid that came in, something graphics.
But I believe his last name was Falk.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a younger kid, Hope.
Oh, okay.
Kind of looked like a surfer kid.
Yeah, right. He was, I think he was like a skateboarder anyway.
Oh, okay. See?
Yeah. He mangled himself there for a while, so he had to work at the shop instead. I remember all that, yeah.
Jason,
that was a good time. That was a good time there.
Oh, definitely. I've always wearing a fedora in my my hair is always a mess. So this is Jason. He's also part of Warren Area Society Paranormal. His wife and him, his wife is the third co-founder of the group, and he came along on our first meeting to make sure that me and Lee wasn't going to take her away to California or something.
Yeah, Hope's husband told me I wasn't allowed to take her to Indiana.
Well, see, I guess it's a husband thing, right?
Yeah, it must be, yeah.
And Lee, I remember he was bragging about that. Still bragging about that. So,
see, I made you famous, Lee.
Yeah.
You signed the first autograph, brother.
And I've been trying to get him on to do these shows, and he has no. So I've been having everybody harass him to get him to come on to the show and be part of this. So feel free to give him heck for not being here. You mentioned about conversation. We'll all read this together. Conventions. See, good thing we read it together. Oh, he's asked.
Well, conventions take a lot of time. What I tell everybody in the group is, if you hold your convention in December 31st, your next convention starts January 1st.
I think he's asking if. I think he's asking if there's one coming up that you're hosting.
No, there's not. Due to the COVID, we can't have a lot of people coming in like we did before.
Right.
We did talk about it, though. We did talk about it because I'm the big one of the group that wants to hold a convention every year and help a cause. That's my baby, as what Hope calls it. So she just tells me to just run with it, whatever. I wanted to, but like I said, you wouldn't be able to do a lot around here with the COVID going on. So that's where this auction started. let's just start doing an auction. Maybe we might do some raffles somewhere down the line on that page. But as far as conventions, gatherings, no. I would like to. We had it all set up. We had it all set up at the Spire.
Yeah.
They had it all set up at the Spire and everything.
There were a lot of stipulations, though, from the town with everything right now, and so it wasn't going to work out to have it right now.
I was going to have zombies walking down the road. I'm serious. I was going to have all of that. And then there was just so much you had to do for the town, and then the COVID hit and everything just stopped.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I think a lot of teams, not even so much for what you're speaking of, a lot of teams that was slowed right down on doing anything with investigating and such. Because, we're strangers going in people's homes and such. So,
right.
They meet us and they trust us as much as they can. But when it comes to pandemics and such, no.
Right. We actually just stopped. I just told Hope, if anybody contacts us, just tell them that, we're on sit still until after this, My big thing is being the leader of the group is not to put my team in any harm at any time. So that fell into that category for me. So I says, well, we're just done. We'll just wait.
It's a hard choice to make, but has to be.
It is, but I got to make sure my team is as safe at every investigation there is,
We just started back up. So we've had 2 investigations now since we've started back up. We're getting pretty busy. We're getting a lot of phone calls and emails, but we still worked with some of our clients. So even though we couldn't go into the house and investigate, over Zoom, the team has met with people, or via our Facebook page through email. We stay in contact with a few of those clients, our clients that we haven't been able to go into their house, offering different tools and suggestions of how to handle what's going on in the house, and and trying to help them the best way that we could without being able to go into the home. So, we definitely do stay in contact. We do continue to reach out, to past clients every couple months or so, just to, see how things are going. So, there's other ways that we can help them, even if we can't go into the house. We're still here to talk and listen, and we get the team together and try to brainstorm and what best way we can help them. So
definitely sound like you guys have a well-rounded plan of attack when it comes to things and helping out those that reach out to you. That's wonderful. A lot of teams are so not prepared, and they believe they are, and I truly believe they don't go into these things for meaning any malice, but they just don't put that structure into it.
This is what comes from years of experience. You learn by your mistakes, they say.
Oh, very much.
Even with our past clients, we still will reach out to them. Once you're our client, you will always our client, and that's how we look at it. And we'll reach out to clients that we haven't investigated in a year just to see how things are going. It's just more or less like a follow-up. We, once in a while, we'll just call a few of them, or, whatever it may be.
But so what's the line, though, that you have to make? Well, because there's follow-ups and there's touch and base, but there's also those that want the daily attention and wants the attachment. Where do you draw the line with such things?
Well, matter of fact, I just got a text from somebody from Warren that we did a few weeks ago, and he's been bugging me forever. We did send him a disc of everything that we got, and now he thinks that we abandoned him. I'm just going to have to let him know. Look, we came to your place. We gave you a disc of what we found,
suggestions and a
lot of suggestions. Then he decided to call in another group under us a week after we were there, so I talked to the group. His name is Serge. You heard of him?
No, I don't believe I have.
No, he called me.
That's a nickname, I'm assuming.
Yeah. He called and talked to me, and I gave him, he has the paperwork from them, the clients, that we can give him all the paperwork. of what we found. So I just send everything over to him, and now that's his case. Now it's not mine no more.
Right.
And I'll tell them that. I'm sorry. You called somebody in under us. Well, a couple of days after we were there, and I'm getting phone calls from this group, and so now you're going to get all the paperwork, and now that's your case. Now that's it's not ours no more. So,
but there is a line of respect with that too. So because you always have to be careful with how we address the client and how we handle things. There have been other clients that different things have happened with, and we come in, we investigate, or sometimes they don't even have us come in, they just have questions. We give them the tools to help deal with what's going on at the house. We offer suggestions. We have a lot of research behind us of what we can offer to help. And after a while, it's almost out of our hands too. It's like we did this part, we gave them this, but also we need follow through on their part in order for some of the activity to stop or where they want to proceed with it. That's the thing. I think I'm getting off the subject now, but sometimes a lot of people feel that when we go in there, then we can just get rid of what's in there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not how that works. We can try to find evidence. We can try to debunk as much as we can, try to help them understand what's there. Is it intelligent? Is it residual? Is it going to harm the family? We can go through and try to answer all these questions, but we can't cross over. We have a lot of people that want us to cross over or to get rid of them. There is that line where
I could pass you along Dale Haight's number. I don't want to say specializes because he'd probably be over here smacking me right now for saying such word, but he's able to help people in situations like that. He's part of our group, but he's more than willing to talk with other teams or other people, not even in a team, and help out in cases like that. So if you like, I can pass on. Dale Haight. I will get you the information. I'll do it to Mike, and so he's been all over the world. He's studied and he's helped. We call him our spiritual advisor.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, if you go through our YouTube channel, and probably be easier to find on our YouTube, you'll see a conversation like this with him. Just same setup. And if you don't have the time to look through the whole video, you kind of skim through, and his information is shared like your guys's is.
Well, no, yeah, that would be awesome. Any extra help is helpful, but sometimes what we end up finding out is we don't have to try to cross anything over. That what is there is residual, or it's just sometimes like a family member or a loved one just reaching out and wanting them to know that they are there with them. So we've also been lucky that way too, but it's just amazing the people that come to us and just automatically think that it's something that is negative and it just needs to be gone and crossed over. So that's what we try to do, is we try to bring, information and just the education behind the paranormal and what it really means to say my place has activity or my place is haunted.
Or the stuff that's not.
Yeah.
Or I got a ghost in my house, I try to tell them all the time, a ghost and a spirit is two different things. That's just how it is. And they'll look at me like, well, they don't understand, they just don't understand, and then we try to explain to them, the ghost is trapped here for a reason. A spirit can move on and come and go as it wants to, and then when you try to explain to them a little bit, it seems like it eases them a little bit because they're starting to understand more now,
Right. Very true. Yeah, and you also got the non-paranormal related things like EMFs and such.
Absolutely.
So you don't need anybody in for that. I mean, you guys know how to explain such things, and hopefully other teams or people that are doing this have enough research to where they could explain it as well. So that's, yeah. Now let's go on to a different subject, and I'll definitely get the information to you guys. What do you think about this whole thing that's being thrown around? But I haven't really heard it in a while, but para unity. As you both look at me like, no,
I'm like,
no idea.
that's why I don't like being on camera, because my facial expressions are really exposed. I need my mask on.
No doubt.
Right.
Because I can hide.
Have you not heard of it,
Para-unity? No.
Mike?
Para-unity is, I think it's something to do with, like, every group should stick together with each group. They shouldn't be throwing another group under the bus. We work together is what we do. We're a unity, man.
Right.
There was a lot of us at one point. Every time you click on social media, you find a new paranormal group out there, you know. And now you don't see as much, but we're still a unity. We all, you know, like you put something out on Facebook and say, okay, hey, look, I need some advice on this picture. 9 times out of 10, the groups that are in the unity will give you an honest opinion. Then you'll get some jackass that will just out there throwing some kind of stupid comment out there. It's a unity. We help each other. If we can help each other, then we just may be somewhere down the line find exact proof for the scientists to understand that there is other things out here.
Now, with that being said, I remember that comment I made earlier about it's great having a core group of people on that chats and always there for you. They also call you out on your BS.
Right.
Yes, Matt. That's what made me think about it. Was you mentioned it the other night? Cheese and rice. But see, now I fully agree with what you said, Mike, to a degree. I believe all that's great, and I do have those feelings, but I do feel in 80% of the time it's based on geographical location.
Right.
You get 2 or 3 teams in the same area, they don't like that whole para-unity deal.
Been there, done that.
So you know exactly what I mean when I say that. It should be great. And a lot of times, and not every time, well, I shouldn't even say a lot of times. I don't know how often it happens, but either way, I believe a lot of times you get the younger group reaching out to the group that's been there, and they take a stonewall stance and saying, no, this is our area. Find something else to do.
Right. We've been through that with a few groups here in town. And not to pat ourselves on the back, but we're still here. It's just we tried too. It wasn't like we didn't try. We invited one group to the convention. We invited one group to help us investigate one of the old funeral homes here. So it wasn't like we weren't trying.
Right.
But it was more or less like after the curtains closed and everything, and now we're no good. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like we've been there. So I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a shame. And I'll be honest with you, there's been a few times where things come up and I'm like, no, and I'm not ready to be part of the unity. And then I realize, well, duh, this is not a competition. This is to help people out and keep things and such in good shape. So,
right.
So
well, see, that's how it was with the one group that we were at. It was always a competition between them. We're doing this and we're doing that. But you're doing all of these, but you're paying to go and do these things. You're not going to a client's home because they're asking for help. There's a difference between JPI and that team or whatever other team. You want to pay $40 to go investigate someplace, or would you rather investigate a home where people are having problems and they have a little kid? Well, that's not a very hard decision to make. So what if you're out every weekend doing prisons and the Shanley Hotel and all that? Who's that helping?
Right.
Who's that helping? We're helping the people that need it. We're helping the little people down here. And you can do all the big investigations that you want. I'd rather do one little home investigation and help a family.
I think
that's how it's been, and that's how it's always will be. As soon as JPI stops helping people, there will be no JPI no more. My promise.
I think it just comes down to too that people, I mean, we live in a world where everyone has an opinion, everyone has a thought. They feel their opinion is right, and you're always going to have people that disagree or people that agree. You're going to have people that come together for the same common factor and other people that don't come together, or one group that feels that they're stronger than the next in anything in life. I think we try to have as much unity as we can with people because, like you said, it's not a competition. We're all in it almost for the same reasons. And if we can help each other out, we need to do that. But realistically, I mean, sometimes you do just butt heads with other people. It happens. It's life. So.
And that's where social distancing helps.
Yeah.
And there's nothing, and I'm sure you agree, there's nothing wrong with investigating places like Stanley and such. But
absolutely not.
No, I'd love to.
But when it comes, if you have a choice between helping family out or doing that, I feel you should always help a family out. Or even a single person. It doesn't have to be a family or a business or whatever. But you see what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, Stanley hotels and stuff like that are for a 1-year group vacation,
bucket list.
Like we're going to the Hinsdale. Already been there, before.
I haven't.
But some of the other girls,
I want to.
Some of the other ones haven't been there. So you know what? I hit Daniel up and I asked him, and we talked a little bit here and there, and now we're on our way out there. And when is it? July?
Yeah, July.
July.
The first weekend.
Yes, we had to pay for it, but that's our year vacation someplace,
Plus, that builds up the place. He's using it to
absolutely. It's for a good cause for him.
But see, next year will be West Virginia Penitentiary, and then the next year will be Waverly Hills, and then so each year will get bigger and bigger.
That's your hope.
More and more places.
That's your hope. So that's July. What? I mean, you're okay if I come through the woods and kind of just like crash the party?
Hinsdale. It's been the first time somebody crashed the party on us.
Living or not.
Hey, it's all good, man. It's all good.
Definitely. Apparently, I'll bring this up instead of trying to read it. Do you need a moment, Hope?
No, my daughter's just like, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
I just wanted to.
Okay. No, I was trying to hide her. Okay.
Yeah, man, there are far and few, man, but there are people out there that would like to ruin it for everybody. You look out on Facebook and people are putting dust balls out there and they're claiming them that they're orbs. And I've been through thousands and thousands of pictures since I've been doing this. People would send me pictures that I don't even know these people and ask me to take a look at them. And there's, it's crazy. People putting fake stuff out there and it's ruining it for the people that aren't doing that. And that irritates me a lot, but I've called people out on it once in a while, but it's going to always be there. It's the internet.
Right.
You're going to Photoshop this. You're going to Photoshop that. You're going to take a picture of a piece of dust and you're going to claim that it's your, Aunt Maggie standing in the corner. It's just unreal. And then when you do post something that's real or whatever, people don't really want to buy that because they're already bought into all the other fake stuff. So it's kind of hard for you to show your stuff with an open mind anymore. And that's pretty hard too. A lot of people don't have that open mind no more.
What do you guys think of this whole new TikTok paranormal trend that going on?
I've seen it. My granddaughter showed it to me once before, and I'm just like, I really haven't actually paid too much attention to it.
I look at TikTok once in a while when I'm bored.
I've never been on TikTok.
I have enough sites to run, man. I got enough sites. I run 3 sites on Facebook, and I'm enough. That's good enough for me. Hope runs the website, which thank God for her because I don't think I'd have time to be able to be on that. So
if you want to help run mine, I'll double what he's paying you. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's
funny.
But all kidding aside,
she helps me with the Facebook page because she corrects all my misspells and stuff. My little school teacher here, She corrects all my spelling and all my commas in the wrong place. Lord, look out! I'm getting 3 this whole 9 yards.
He always knows when I get on. He'll because I get on and I like hit the edit and I'll redo it, and then he'll be like, he'll check it, and he knows.
I'm like, I didn't write that.
Yeah, you did. Sounds
We
great.
changed the wording a little bit.
Went to bed and said a whole different thing when I went to bed.
Well,
See,
once in a
I'm
while
horrible.
we just need an apostrophe somewhere, or just, I don't know, a little bit of fluff. I help with.
I'm horrible to the point where even spell check sends me a message saying, "What the heck is that?"
Spell check can't even come up with a word that I'm trying to write.
No doubt. My girlfriend Steph, she when I'm typing stuff out or whatever, I run to her. Does this look good? Is this good? She's like, "Oh, that was all right, but this, and this, and this." Okay.
Yeah, my wife might spell check sometimes.
But James says, "I hate pictures of windows and they see things."
Oh yeah, matrixing. We went through that one time. There was a picture that was sent to me. Do you see the woman sitting in the chair in this empty house? It was a picture taken through a front window of a door. And if you first glance at it, it does look like there was an old lady sitting at a table. And I went to the house. I'm taking pictures of my own because it was right here up in Jamestown. And I'm looking at it, and the way the leaves and the branches off the trees was reflecting off the window and the flash from their camera, that's exactly what it was. It was the flash and the leaves and all that off the window with the reflection, and it actually made it look like there was a woman sitting there at the table. So yeah, I understand what you're saying, man.
Sometimes
the window thing is just crazy. I do tell all my team members, though, always take pictures of mirrors and windows. Always take pictures of the mirrors a lot. You never know. That's my big thing. If you're in a room and there's a mirror, take a couple pictures of the mirror,
Except my grandmother's mirror, right?
Yeah, we don't take pictures of your grandmother's mirror. So
a little inside story there.
One of our investigations, actually, I wasn't even part of the team yet. And my grandmother, unfortunately, had to go into a nursing home. This was back in 2011.
Sorry to hear that.
And thank you. And she passed away in 2012, but we wanted to do an investigation there because when I was younger, I remember there being a child in the house. And then my grandmother, who was a very religious person, did not really believe in anything paranormal. Towards the end, she developed dementia. And she started telling my mom and I about these 2 kids and this mother in the house. And it was interesting because we had some pretty crazy experiences there. Just me there taking care of my grandmother for a while. Things that would happen. And long story short, we did an investigation there, and she had this old mirror, and it was hanging on the wall. And at one point of the night, you could see like blue, and then you could see like a red, like almost like a mist in the mirror. It was the coolest thing ever. And Mike, I remember asking me one time, he's like, "Well, whatever happened to that mirror?" And I'm like, "It's hanging in my living room."
I was about to say, a Christmas gift to Mike.
I kept it. No, I kept it. And I
don't want that mirror, man.
I haven't had anything with it, but it was interesting because the mist we can't describe. It was blue, it was red. We have no idea where it was coming from.
It was cool.
It was an inside room, so it wasn't out like on the outside towards the road or where there would be lights. Craziest thing, but yeah. So, but you take pictures of those mirrors, Mike.
Wasn't it where we heard a little boy or something upstairs and come to find out he drowned in the bathtub?
Oh boy.
Yeah. So
we heard the little boy in the bathroom.
Yeah. Well, and no, that was, oh my gosh. So It was funny because Buddy was sitting downstairs watching the TV, the monitors, and we went to walk up the stairs, and all of a sudden, and the house was pretty much empty at this point, minus a couple little odds and end items, and a piece of wood about this big came flying out of the bedroom, hit the wall. And it's almost like someone grabbed it and set it on the stair behind me. Because typically, if it would hit the wall and then hit the stair, it's going to bounce. It didn't do that. It's like grabbed and it was set right behind me. We were like, holy cow. Well, then I was telling them about the little boy, and we shut the bedroom doors. The little boy in the house did not like the doors shut.
No.
And as soon as we shut the one door, you could literally hear him running up to the door. Craziest thing. And then you could hear him. Well, then all of us were in the bathroom standing there. I don't know why. We were congregating in the bathroom, and my grandmother had a clawfoot tub, like one of the original. The house was built in the early 1900s. It was the first house on that road. And so she had like one of the original clawfoot tubs. And Mike's like,
tubs.
I think this would be really awesome. Do you think that we could get this clawfoot tub out of here? No joke. It's like the whole house shook, and you could hear like severe pounding downstairs.
Like, no way you're taking this
No,
tub.
seriously. And that happened one other time a little bit later that night when we mentioned about removing the bathtub. And then my very last, which is very sad, but my very last day in the house when I had to drop off the keys because the house had sold, I opted out of not keeping the house because there was just a lot with that there and other reasons. But I had put the key down, and in the kitchen, the floor above it is the bathroom floor. And I put the key down. I said bye to my grandma. Sorry. And the next thing I know, I said goodbye, and I could hear like pounding on the floor upstairs.
Oh my.
And I felt awful. I felt like I was like maybe it was the wrong decision. Maybe I should have tried to keep the house. And long story short, I went to a medium, and I was talking to her, and she ended up bringing up about the little boy that drowned in the bathtub, and had said that it wasn't anything malicious. He had just fallen asleep. And I was just sitting there in awe because I was like, holy cow, because I wanted that answered. I wanted to know who he was. And yeah, so that was really fascinating. But yeah, he did not like the doors closed. My mom actually was there one time cleaning and packing stuff, and she called me. She was hysterical because she's like, Hope, she goes, I just closed the bedroom door and somebody ran up on the other side and the doorknobs were rattling. What do I do? And I'm like, Mom, it's all right. The little boy just doesn't like the door closed. Just open the door. So that was just like a crazy experience, but it was
At least she knew who to call.
Well, yeah. But,
so, wow, nice, good story.
Too bad you weren't with us when we did Stockton with all the pennies flying around.
That would have been fun.
Pennies from heaven, huh?
Man, there was pennies flying all over the house, dude. The claim was the lady said she's always finding pennies around, and she could hear pennies being tossed. So when we got there, we would write B on some pennies and put it in the boys' room, G for the girls' room, stuff like that. Shut the lights out at 10 o'clock, 10 after 10, there's pennies flying down the stairs, dude. And we would pick the penny up and it would say B on it. And some of our still cameras caught pennies in flight. We got them on our page where you could actually see the penny being tossed across the room.
Really?
Yeah, it was intense. It was really cool. And the pennies would bounce down the stairs, and we're sitting at the bottom of the steps. And if you're quiet enough, you could actually hear the penny being dragged across the steps so they could pick it up to toss it again. It was just insane.
Wow.
And she thought it was her kids throwing pennies. And I says, no, it's not your kids throwing pennies.
I wonder how many times those kids got in trouble for doing that.
She said she yelled at them all the time because she was sick of picking up pennies. I said, well, it was nuts. But it was cool at the same time, I
was about to say, that's the things about what we do is, I understand the clients get upset, mad, scared, but when things like that happen to us, we're like, yes, I'm glad we're here to catch that.
It's exciting.
Oh, yeah. Hoping I run.
Really cool.
Yeah, keep our energies down so that way, the clients don't think, well, this is a playground for us,
Pretty much is.
Well, yeah, but
well, because it's just proof. It's proof that there's so much more out there than what we really understand and realize and have any concept of. And there is life after death. And, so when we get the evidence, Mike can make it really giddy. We get really excited because we're like, holy cow, it is exciting, but it's
when you do an EVP work and you hear a knock on the closet door and there ain't nobody on the other side, that's kind of cool.
Oh, I'll tell you, one night, Mike and I and one of our old investigators Christina, we were all three sitting. We were at a house, and the three of us were sitting on this little like single little kid's bed, and we're just kind of waiting for stuff to happen. And the door shut, but then all of a sudden we saw like, I don't know, something like swooshed past us, went into the closet. The clothes started moving. And then remember, Mike, the bedroom door like closed. And then three of us are like, oh my gosh, did you see that? Holy cow. We were just like really excited because it was one of the claims.
Kids at the candy store.
We got the claim. So that was pretty cool.
Guys, let's just see if we can see if we have any questions over here. And before we do that, sorry for this, but I have to do it. If you're finding any value out of this video, please click like, and if you got a moment to share. But if you find any, if you're having fun and entertaining and such, please click like, heart, whatever it is on social medias. Sorry, guys, you got to do that every once in a while.
No,
Lee says that we are accused of CGI, and we were accused of CGI. This is going back to orbs. One of our first videos out, it was an orb that floated through the room into the next room and had a very intelligent path. And within minutes of it being on our Facebook page, I believe it was Facebook, we were getting CGI and this and that. It's like, really? If it was CGI, I'm sure we do more than a little dot floating around, you know?
Right, exactly.
But then Matt's saying he heard this story before. This is another one about a green screen, which I haven't put back up yet. In this very room that I'm sitting in, I had a green screen behind me, ceiling to floor, homemade deal, and so had a nice image on it. Anyways, I thought I heard my better half coming up behind me to hand something. So if you watch the video, I was live. I kind of look over my shoulder where she would be coming from, like, okay, she definitely doesn't like being on camera. And so I was waiting to grab a drink or whatever she was bringing me, being nice. She was being nice, I was thinking. And about the time I looked back and was hearing the noise off to my other side, that side, you can see where the green screen separates, the fabric separates, and then just comes down looks like a good yank. So it was it's like, what? Whoa, wait. And so that's why you can see my whole mess back there.
That's all right. You can see mine. That's the whole. Hey, look, you buys his name off the post you got right there.
What?
Okay, whose camera was that?
That was mine.
Okay. I'm like, oh, I'm hearing it. So that like caught me off guard that night. You could see my excitement that night. Like, oh my God, that just happened on camera.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Orbs are kind of cool to catch when you actually know you got one. You know?
Right. It's when you're not expecting it and you catch it on camera where people can see it, it's like definitely.
Yeah, I believe that orbs doesn't necessarily mean that your house is haunted, though, either. You know, orb is energy.
Right.
You can go outside your backyard and take a picture and find an orb.
I don't like using the word haunted as much, because having spirits or ghosts there doesn't necessarily. Haunted is such a negative term. Like there's stuff here, and I've said haunted, don't get me wrong, but there's stuff here that doesn't really bother us. So, it's just almost like we have roommates,
Almost like maybe you could have brought something home with you, huh?
I don't think that's the case in this situation. I think it was something that was here before.
Okay, on to Matt's question there. We have clients stay at our investigations with us. Only because, for one, they're kind of curious of what's going on. And you mentioned earlier through here, people trust you to a certain extent,
Mm-hmm.
They don't know us from Adam. You trust these guys to stay in our house with all of our stuff here, and and I'm sure that runs through their mind too. But we tell them that, yeah, you and one other person can stay there. No kids allowed in our investigations at all. If you got kids, you got to find a place to go. Normally what they do is they'll just sit at the command center and they'll watch the DVR, they'll watch the cameras with one of our investigators. If they have a question, they will ask that investigator while they're sitting there. Sometimes we'll get one of them up to do, like we'll get the lady of the house go with Hope and the girls to do EVP work or something like that. So we try to have them interact with us at the same time, because sometimes you come in there, strange people, strange objects, it's kind of hard for you to get something. But if you got somebody that they're already used to and they know, it would be easier for them to communicate with that person. So, plus it also gives kind of an idea of what we do and what it's all about, So we don't try to shut them out of that. So yeah, they can stay with us if they wish to. A lot of times they don't want to. They just leave and say, "What time you want us to come back?" But not we do. Like the one that we just had last week, she stayed there with us, and then she left, and then she came back again. So it was kind of cool. I like doing that because I want them to interact along with us too, if possible.
Plus, it makes them feel a little confident in what's going on. And when you guys leave or we leave, however you want to say it,
Right.
It makes them feel like they know that they could be doing this stuff and gain confidence.
Well,
like the one. Go ahead, Hope. Go ahead.
It helps them with not being afraid, because sometimes when they call us in, they're really afraid. They're scared of this. But if they do go around with us, even though they're afraid, it's almost like they're a little bit more brave because they're with us and they can sit with us. But then I think they can also see too that it's not, I don't know how to word it. It's they're seeing and they're hearing everything that is going on that we are doing, and if something interacts or doesn't interact. So I think it also brings in a sense of like, okay, maybe I can take a breather because maybe it's not that scary. So I think that helps them too.
Right. It's not gonna drag them out of the house and into the woods and such, because it's interacting with us. And Matt, he does his show in the basements. He's got a nice setup. He's got a better setup than me. He's got a really nice setup. And Matt, yes, non-living guest.
That's an idea. We could use your basement, Mike. That could be like our
headquarters.
Basement looks like you find Batman down there. It looks like a cave.
Oh, get the other two girls.
We don't have enough. I mean, we could always set my garage up.
Instead of a garage band, you'll be a garage paranormal team.
Unless it's heated during the winter, I can't.
But we'll figure something. I think what we're doing right now is working.
Don't fix what's not broke.
Right. It is what it is. Hope does her thing, I do my thing, and we do it, and it works. It might not work like a great oiled machine, but it works, and we're used to this. So we got it. We got this.
It definitely sounds like you guys are doing great. And I know from what I've seen online and social media and such, I've seen nothing but good reviews, and you guys seem to be very on top of your game. Jamestown is very lucky to have you guys, and
I appreciate that.
I'm trying to recall my time living in Jamestown and such, and the places that would get me kind of spooked as a kid. Of course, running through Allen Park in the middle of the night was always fun. And then there was a house on Fulton Street and 8th Street on one of the corners there. I won't say exactly which one. That place, when I grew up in that neighborhood, and had reoccurring dreams, and all kinds of weird things coming from that house. That was crazy. And the crazy thing about these dreams that I had, I knew the owner of the place, and I haven't seen him in many years now, but when we do see each other, we're friendly. And I was kind of telling him about these dreams that I had. Haha, I'm 30 years old now. Time's passed. He's like, it was about the house looked different in my dreams, like totally different. And when I was explaining, I was like, I don't know. I was a kid. Where did that come from? And he's like, well, believe it or not, that's the way the house looked like 10 years before you were born.
Wow.
Oh, so so I'm trying to remember my days in Jamestown like that. Now, the one place I don't know if you guys have been to or not, the neighbors watch the place pretty well. Is up on Moonbrook Road there, the little cemetery, Hollenbeck, I believe it's called.
Oh,
I've been there.
Have you?
Matter of fact, we were there one night. It was an investigator I have now, Tom, and my good buddy Chris that passed away last year. And myself were up there, and we heard noises and shadows moving around, and come to find out there was another paranormal group up there doing the same thing that we were doing that night, but they were hiding from us because they thought that we were the cops. So they were called SPAT. They were out of Randolph.
I think I've heard of them. Yeah,
they were cool. So we got to be friends with them and everything, but yeah, that was kind of a weird little story. You go up there thinking that everything is empty, and all of a sudden you find 6 other guys running around there trying to hide from you because they thought you were the cops, and come to find out they're a paranormal team doing the same thing that we were doing at night.
They don't want to get pegged for trespassing. Those fines aren't cheap,
I try not to do the cemeteries though, because I worked in the cemetery for 7 years, and the vandalism and the disrespect that you get. And when you go to a cemetery, what do you expect to get? They're dead people. What do you expect? Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't go to a resting place like that and cause havoc and try to talk to the dead. That's a resting place for them, and I remember many mornings my son and I would go to work, and we'd have to clean up after vandalism because we had an old place up there called Potter's Field, way up in the backside. And it was covered in woods and stuff, and people would just go up there and they would burn candles at night and, do stupid stuff, and that's a disrespect. And so I would always tell the team, I'm not going to a cemetery. If you guys want to go, that's all up on you. But I'm not going to a cemetery because I don't find that rewarding for me,
Well, the appeal of cemeteries and such is in my opinion, of course, it's creepy. Late at night, the dead is there. But on the same token, well, you know what I mean. On the same token, you don't have so much grief from people per se. It feels like a place you could go to and do that kind of stuff without as much stress of trying to find permission and
right.
And, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, But I mean, that's just my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's my only way of thinking.
Well, you have a different perspective being a worker there and such. Yeah.
So.
When you were talking about Jamestown, Jamestown is actually a very fascinating place, and it has a lot of history, and it has a lot of good there, and there's so much history there that I don't think people are really aware of, and how far the roots really go back, and just the settlement in the beginning of Jamestown, and then looking at the Lakeview Cemetery that was actually relocated
3 times.
Yes, and
I lived there.
looking
I
at
didn't
the
know
Underground Railroad that actually was part of that, and then there's historic homes that are no longer standing, but that were part of that. So it offers such, a great history, and there's so much that Jamestown, does offer, especially with history and stuff. And
it's a very old town.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a history there.
The first cemetery was what? 4th Street Park.
Oh, was it?
That was the first cemetery, and it was way up on a hill too. That wasn't never that level. It was up on a hill. It was like the late 1800s. They moved it to 6th and Cherry there, where the park is, Cherry Street Park.
Huh.
And it was that whole park. It was all the way up towards like what was that? This street, because the library was part of the cemetery also, and the church and the father's house there. That was the only houses on that street when there was, the cemetery. And then they moved the cemetery because they wanted to build a library. So they had to have all these people come in and take all these bodies out of the cemetery, which they never got every single body out of that cemetery.
Well, no.
And
see, I lived in Jamestown. I didn't know all that. I thought, to me, it's always been in that location.
And now up in the Lakeview Cemetery, if you go to the section of the old Catholic cemetery up there, that's the cemetery they moved from there and put up there. So that's probably one of the oldest parts of the cemetery in Lakeview. Was called the Old Catholic. That's where the claims of the library came from. They always seen a black man in the cemetery and library. And I remember numerous of times when I was younger, the park was for people drinking and having a good time at night, and they would always claim that there was a black man standing behind a tree watching them here and there. This is before I even got into the paranormal, but I did have heard these stories.
Right.
And now the library is claiming that they see a black man in the cemetery, in the library, and things go on there all the time. Of course it is. You know what I'm saying? You once was a cemetery. You dug everything. It is not resting no more. So here it is. You're built on a cemetery. You know.
But they did move the bodies. From what I remember reading, some of the books, they did move most of the bodies. I think there was maybe only one.
I'm sure they forgot more than one. It was back in the late 1800s. Heck, they don't even use headstones half the times. How do you know where people are at? That's the problem that they
saying what I read.
They would just bury people.
Plus the money it costs to move people.
Yeah.
There's people buried all over Jamestown.
No doubt.
That's anywhere. That's anywhere. The land dates back way before any of these structures or buildings have been on any of the land.
I can hear my monitor for a minute. It's just because I'm changing leads and batteries.
Okay, dear. If you guys hear alarms, don't panic. We're not in any danger here or whatever. James sending out a nice little ghost for everybody. Now, there's a neat place here out in Starbrick, Pennsylvania. Speaking of headstones and things, I'm not 100% confirmed that it's a headstone, but there is some kind of marker. Mike, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with Starbrick, are you not?
I am a little, not a lot.
I hope I am a little. Sure. I don't know if you've been out this way, Hope, but it's on the corner of Yankee Bush and Route 6 there.
Mm-hmm.
6, yeah. There's this kind of a bigger stone there, and I was at work, and somebody found out what I do, and they brought up the fact of the lone grave there. Like, what do you mean? I've seen the stone there, but I thought it was a decorative stone, and sure enough, if you go up on it, you can see it looks like the dates and the name and such, and I thought it was right on a busy intersection. I've been told there's a lost cemetery that somewhere in the area that they've never been able to recover where the location was at before it was moved. So if you ever get a chance to be out that way, do you know the old Blair store there?
Yeah.
It's right on that corner there. You pull into the Blair parking lot and you'll see a stone right on the corner by the light post.
Nice.
And I'm thinking, this poor guy being left behind is a guy on the stone, and thinking what's going through his mind if he's hanging out. Like, was I that bad in life that left me behind here? Or again, you could be looking at it a different way. It's like, hey, I got the best view. I get to see everything going by.
Right on. Yeah.
So I guess it's a matter of how you view. But if you get a chance, speaking of headstones and such, pop in and check it out if you're ever out that way.
Hmm.
I go out that way all the time. I got my doctors out in Warren, so it's not much further than that.
Yeah, 4 minutes from Warren. I mean, it really isn't that much further. But yeah, when I heard that, I was like, no, you're crazy.
We got a lot of places around here where people put up crosses. And remember this one, Hope, where that lady sent us that letter? About the corner.
We ever found that, though?
Huh?
Did we ever find that?
Oh, I know exactly. I know exactly where it is. I go by it all the time. They say that their spirits will walk that whole ground right there at night. They can see them. You just pull up there with your car and you just wait, and they'll come to you. I've never been there at night, so I don't know. I mean, I don't fish that far down, but we fish off that creek.
But you know where it's at, where you're speaking of.
Yeah, I know exactly where I'm at with it.
So I see there's people that's still been pretty solid numbers since the start. So if you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask. Now, yeah, I had a question in my mind a minute ago. So what is the future of JPI? I mean, do you guys see things winding down, or you see this another 50 years from now going on?
Well, I hope it ain't 50 years. Because I'm going to be 100 walking around looking for the dead. Hope to God I find it before then, so I can show proof that, hey, it is here. I don't want to be 100 looking for it. I don't feel us slowing down any right now. There's a lot of things that Hope and I talk about and what we want to do with it and what direction we want to go. But this is not Mike and Hope Paranormal Group. It's, it's JPI, so we have to bring things to everybody. But there's things that we would like to see happen. Like, again, we talked about a convention. Next year would be great to have a nice big convention because we can be lifted with all this COVID stuff going on and just doing what we do, man. Doing what we do. Helping people out. That's, like I said, as soon as we stop helping people, then JPI will be no more. Hopefully there's people out there to want us to help them for a couple more years.
I don't see why we wouldn't be around. I mean, there's always someone wanting proof. There's always someone needing help or needing the education behind it, the questions, and there's always so much for us to learn because it's always changing. The paranormal field and what's happening, and things that people are starting to see, or different claims. And so I feel like we're constantly learning, we're constantly teaching, making people aware of what's going on. So I think as long as we can always be here to help and people want to learn and know, we'll always be around to do that.
Hey, I like how you said that. Very good.
Oh, Hope, yeah.
Very good, Hope.
Okay, I wasn't correcting you. It's not like I'm here typing. I was just adding to what you were saying. Like when I call on a student and then I call another one and say, okay, so add to it, give me more. I was just giving more.
It's wonderful.
I think maybe this is why we get along so well.
Because you just laugh at me and shake your head. Or disagree.
Yeah.
I think I actually do that more to you. I think especially when you go off on your tangents, I'm just like, okay, yep, totally get it.
In my life to do that.
But you have to agree. I got a lot of there's sometimes where I have to have that tantrum, and that just go off for a minute.
Wind down that steam.
I won't validate that. No.
I would love to go and investigate for Bigfoot, man. That'd be kind of cool.
Don't even
Bigfoot,
get me started.
I know. I'll take your son with me. I think that Bigfoot would be kind of cool. I watch a lot of Bigfoot shows on TV. Do I believe they're real? Anything is possible. Anything's possible. I look for ghosts, for God's sakes. And who am I just supposed to say that? Okay. UFOs. I kind of believe in UFOs more than I would a Bigfoot, maybe. Only because I do believe there has to be life someplace else besides Earth. I mean, come on,
They've been putting a lot of big drops out lately with UFOs.
Yeah. I'm on this Bigfoot site on Facebook. If you believe in Bigfoot or if you're a Bigfoot believer or something. And again, how come every Bigfoot picture is blurry? That's what I want. That's my question. Why is every Bigfoot picture blurry? I've asked Eric Altman that many a times, and he said that's just how it is, man. Accept it.
Nice.
But I think Bigfoot hunting would be kind of cool to wander through the woods at night, I mean, I wandered through the woods at 4 a.m. to go deer hunting. Do we listen for things? Yeah, I listen for things. I look around, you know what I'm saying? But never had an encounter. But it'd be kind of
I
cool.
want to meet Bigfoot in the woods in the middle of the night.
Well,
I
you
will
know
take
what
a ghost
Bigfoot
in the
would do.
spirit and anything, any day over a massive creature that no thank you. No.
But how do you know what Bigfoot would actually do to you? Do you think it would attack you? Would it sit there and try to communicate with you? Would it run? Because
I don't want to know.
You don't care to find out.
No,
Yeah.
I don't want to sit there and be like, hey, Bigfoot, what do you want to do to me tonight? No, thank you. Thank you. I'm not going to invite that. No, urban legends. We haven't really checked out a lot of urban legends, but it's also one of those things too where I'm not going to stand in the mirror and say Bloody Mary just because I'm very superstitious, and it's like, why would I even invite that? Or maybe watching too much Supernatural.
Is there any urban
Why can't you do any interview without mentioning Supernatural? Every interview that we do, Supernatural comes out.
No. What? Well, I guess never mind.
You guys done a few interviews then?
No, we haven't.
Stop it.
Oh, we've been on the radio a couple times. I don't mention them on the radio.
I bet at least one of them did.
I'm sure I probably did.
When I've been on TV, you haven't been on TV with me.
I was on TV with you once, and that was really. It makes me nervous. It just makes me nervous. It's like talking to an answering machine. I can't see who's on the other side of the phone, and it's like blah blah blah. After a while, and I just have to stop. I'm like, I don't like it.
Now speaking of Supernatural.
Here we go.
I wanted to get back and ask you guys a question about urban legends, but what do you think? Because I see your Scooby-Doo of the Scooby-Doo Supernatural crossover.
Oh, I have a T-shirt.
Oh yeah, I posted that out there.
It was awesome. It was awesome. I thought it was cute. I thought the characters were they depicted the characters very well.
They did.
It did not surprise me that Dean would be all over Daphne.
I know, right?
I thought it was really cute. At first, when I heard about it, I was so against it. But then after I watched it, I'm like, this is kind of cute. It's fun.
I wasn't against it. I wasn't for it.
Yeah.
I was very curious how they were going to get the supernatural kill violent side of it into the cartoon that. I mean, yes, I don't think it was truly marketed for kids, but Scooby-Doo, everybody's going to watch it and let their kids watch it. So I found the way they did that very tasteful. And, they did very good with that.
They did.
Now, urban legends. I cannot think of a single one for Jamestown. Can you guys?
The Shattuck-Coin Monster.
Oh.
The Shattuck-Coin Monster. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I read it in one of these Chautauqua history books. Now, when I was younger, we used to run the Shattuck-Coin River every day.
Right.
Never seen no monster at the Shattuck-Coin River. You know what I'm saying? But that was probably just a story that somebody made up. It's not actually a legend, like an urban legend. But I do remember reading that in one of the Chautauqua books.
Huh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But I don't think Jamestown has any.
A lot of urban legends. I was thinking of the lady in the glass house, but that's actually not a legend because she was a real person that.
You're talking about
Grace Galloway?
Yeah, Galloway.
Lady in glass.
Yeah, but that's not,
No. There is none, really. I mean, if you want to.
Around Guernsey Hollow, yeah.
You want to classify the guy running around the cemetery on a horse with no head. You can call that, but that was just a guy running around the cemetery. The cops caught him.
Oh, this isn't
an urban legend.
Yeah.
We don't have any here in town. We really don't. We don't have nothing.
I was
about to say, I don't think I remember anything growing up other than like Bloody Mary. Fulton Street had a few houses that seemed to always be empty, that people would just, I remember as a kid being really creeped out by like two houses there on Fulton between 8 and Strong.
Mm-hmm. I know where you're at.
So there was one house on, if you're heading down towards Strong Street on the left-hand side, that was always empty, and it just always gave me this creepy vibe. It was just crazy. Then there was another one closer to 8th Street on the right-hand side that just was kind of a little,
There was two houses on 8th Street. There was two houses down from Prendergast on your right-hand side. That place was just, it was so evil.
Well,
It was so bad, yeah. It's just it's nuts. It's actually one of our investigators used to live there, so I firsthand seen the claims and and everything. And this is again when I was younger, but yeah, that place is bad. It was bad. So, hey, Hope, you want to answer that question?
I got so caught up in our stuff, I forgot to look.
Yes, with the pandemic, we have noticed we are getting quite a few calls. And there's a lot of factors that go into getting the phone calls, I think, with people being home and not being able to leave the house. They're at the house more, so they're starting to notice more things. Plus, it goes into, and this is getting into a whole nother area where, there's a lot of talk about like the energy shifts and the changes and different things that are shifting within the universe, and just kind of making more people aware of what is happening around them. But yes, we have definitely, like I said, we are starting to get really busy. We have two investigations in May. We have another one coming up in June. We just had 2 investigations. And we're still getting emails that we are going through and answering clients and asking questions and trying to figure out, is this paranormal or isn't it? You know what I mean? Because we do that as the, case manager. I call everyone, I talk to everyone, ask a series of questions, and we try to narrow it down. Then I submit it to the team. But yeah, we have noticed there's quite a bit, but also I feel like this time of year is kind of a busy time of year. And then first thing, like midwinter. So, and then things get quiet for the summer, and then we pick back up fall going into winter. Then things get quiet, and then we pick up around this time. But definitely the emails are coming through. We're getting a lot of emails and people just asking questions and not wanting an investigation, but wanting to know, is this something I should be concerned with? Do you see anything in this picture? So yeah, there has been quite a bit.
A lot of
during the warm months. I believe during the warm months, summer and such, we get slow because everybody's out running around, barbecuing, enjoying the
nobody's home. Nobody's home. And so we have gotten some really odd claims lately, though. A lot of claims that we haven't gotten before. So if that answers your question, yeah, we've been getting some weird stuff. Possession, crazy stuff like that, that doesn't really come across as is people home too much or whatever, man. I don't know what it is, but
it might be. Do you think people are becoming more attuned in the, like you were saying, the spiritual, like energies and everything switching, that some reason we're having more connection with the spiritual world, for lack of my better wording?
I believe so.
You think we're getting more in tune?
I think so. I think something's going on.
There's a big shift.
It's the aliens.
Of awareness.
The aliens. They're coming to take us away. Ha ha.
Yep.
But now, speaking of shifts and all that, crystals and such, do you guys know of them? Use them?
That's Hope's area.
I'm not a professional on it, but we do carry our clear quartz with us. And it's kind of funny because when I bought everyone one on the team to help, with the negativity and because it's a good protection stone too. I think they kind of chuckled, but once in a while they'll carry them with them. So I do,
my pocket every time we go.
So they do respect me that way. So yeah, we did have an investigation here in town where I did look into some research and research some stones that could be helpful, like your obsidians and your labradites, and there's a bunch of other ones out there. And the family does use them. We have another family that we haven't investigated, but through talking to this family on Zoom and then offering some other tools for them, to put in their toolkit to be successful with what's going on at their house, they have tried different crystals. So yeah, we do a little bit with it. Not a lot yet, but I don't know. We could see what will happen in the future.
I see a trip to Riverdale, huh?
I do know I bring my St. Michael's medallion with me every time I go somewhere, though. That's just a ritual that goes on me as soon as I'm out of the shower, and that stays on me until I get home. Stone wise, I carry the crystals because Hope gave it to me, and she believes in it, then I believe in it. So I just carry it in my pocket. So I'm kind of double dab there, man.
Nice.
Never have too much protection.
I always say my prayers and everything like that, and for my protection before we go into an investigation. I always find time to go outside or whatever by myself and do my thing, and then it's time.
So have you had? It sounds like you guys have teams coming to you on a regular basis.
More so lately. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
We have teams reaching out to us on Facebook and talking to Mike quite a bit, and teams liking our page. And, we've interacted with some teams in the past with some questions. And yeah, so.
Well, I know myself personally, I've been doing this, I don't know how long now, about month and a half maybe, because I've been breaking them up bi-weekly or trying to. Where I'm reaching out to a lot more teams now, trying to get more guests for this vlog or whatever you want to call it. And, it's kind of interesting, the different teams that are out there and the different, I don't want to say attitudes because that puts a negative spin on it, but different views that, like, say, you have in Jamestown, we're close here in Warren, so we kind of have a nice vibe. Where somebody in, say, James, Ontario, they have a different feel when I'm speaking with them about paranormal and such. It's kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's different with cultures. It's different with cultures. It's different with the locations, with the history that's there. And I think just our exposure to what's out there. So. I think that's going to happen.
Falls into how much do you believe and what do you believe and how you were taught, and it's everything, man. People ask me all the time, how can I become an investigator? Go to the library,
next question.
Every single book that you can find and bring it home. And when you think you read enough, go find more. I said, because you're never going to know everything in the paranormal field. That's just how it is. Sorry, that's just the way it goes. You're never going to know everything. You're never going to be a professional at this. You're just going to be an old timer at this. And because everything changes so much, the technology changes from year to year. You're still learning. We did a place in Warren last month, and we got claims of stuff. So I had to come home, and I did research on owls and whistles and stuff. Just to find out what is going on here. They hear an owl, and then they hear a whistle, and then so we were there investigating, and we heard the owl, we heard the whistle, and what does this have to tie in with the hauntings of the house, the claims of the house? So see, you never really learn everything. You still got to come home and do research. So you never really know everything.
So that's the advice you'd give to somebody new coming to you.
Can I jump in? Also, adding to that with Mike is, yes, the education of it and reading as much material to know what you're dealing with or what could possibly be happening. But also, I think there's like morals and ethics behind what we do, and the respect for the paranormal, the respect for going into people's homes, So there's a lot of that too. So if you want to be a paranormal investigator, you have to know what you're talking about. You have to understand the field. You have to want to learn more about the field. And if you don't know, it's okay to say, hey, I don't know that, but I'll find out,
And don't be
and
afraid
research.
to ask.
Yeah. But just like I said, the respect, you have to know that there, like we have JPI shirts, we wear our names on our shirts. So there's, the way that we present ourselves and the way that we act in a very professional manner. Because it's respect of other people and their feelings, it's respect of their home. So there's a lot that goes into investigating, protecting ourselves when we go on an investigation. The claims that we get, we don't know what we're going into sometimes, and knowing how to protect ourselves, and kind of looking out for each other. So there's a whole like ethics and, like I said, a moral code that goes behind being an investigator too. We don't just recommend for people to go out. I've talked to several clients that will say, well, I did an EVP session the other day and I think I brought something in and I don't know what to do. We don't recommend that you just do your own investigations and open those doors and getting into Ouija boards and other stuff like that. There's a whole code there. And so there's a lot going into being an investigator. It's just not something that anyone, I think, can just jump into and be like, oh, hey, I'm a paranormal investigator. Well, what does that mean to them? What does it mean to be a paranormal investigator? And like Mike and I always ask people we're interviewing, what can you bring to the team? What skills or what expertise can you bring to the team? We've interviewed so many people that literally have said to us, well, I want to be an investigator because I think it's cool. No, what can you bring to the team as a team member? What can you bring to us with the education behind it? So there's a lot that goes into it. I think other paranormal teams would agree with that you just can't just jump in one day and be like, oh, hey, look, I have a REM pod, or I have an EMF meter or a K2. And oh, look, you know what I mean? I think there's a whole code there.
Definitely. There should be a code if there isn't in teams.
And when you say something about respect, you respect the how do I want to say it? I don't want to say ghost, but say you respect the spirit that's there also. Mm-hmm. You introduce yourself to them. You thank them for letting them come into their area. And when you're done at the end of the night, you thank them again. And we're not here to harm you. We're not here to, do anything like that. We're just here to communicate with you. We try to explain to them everything that we're using. This here is our phone. We record you off it. This is whatever it is. And we're always respect the spirit that we're actually trying to communicate with. I was at one point. No, I used to do that. I used to get kind of loud and irritating. But when you're in a place all night long and not a thing happens, it kind of irritates you after a while, and then you just start going off, and it's just like, and I walked away from that a lot, I don't really do that anymore.
How many times will you go to a client before you decide nothing's there? Are you willing to do multiple cases, yes, investigations, or is it one and done?
We have.
Yeah, we usually give it at least 2 times. Businesses, a couple businesses have actually had us come back a handful of times. Usually homes, we'll tell them the first time. It's not like on television. We may not necessarily get any activity the first night. We could definitely stir things up and pull things out a little bit, only because then they're definitely the ghost or spirit is definitely aware that we're able to communicate with them. So sometimes it takes a second visit, but my whole theory behind that is they have to get to know us as much as we have to get to know them or it, and it's like we coexist together in that manner. So we've been in places where the first time we sit there for 4 hours and go through footage and videos and pictures, and it's like, are you serious? But then we go back a couple of weeks later and it's like, bam, 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 we get a lot of stuff. So yeah, we've gone back a couple times to houses.
A few places.
Mm-hmm.
I think
and the second time around always turns out better than the first time around.
I think a lot of people think that it's a one-time deal and you're going to get everything in one shot and you're going to solve all the problems in one shot. Sometimes it happens, but 1 out of every 1,000 cases if you're lucky.
Right. And we're not like, TV where they're out at a certain location for 10 days straight. Right. We're there one night. You're giving us 8 hours, 10 hours to find whatever you have going on in your house. You
What
know,
show is that where they show 3 days worth?
that's
Amy,
Ghost Nation.
is it Ghost Nation where they're
I
locked
think Amy
down
and
for
Adam
3
do
days?
too.
Amy and
Well-
Adam does 3 days too.
Well, I think that's a more realistic view of what we do.
Right.
You know,
Mhm.
3 days is a good day.
it gives people the understanding that it's not the 30-minute edited version of things. You know,
Right.
but yeah, guys, I'm having a blast. I really am. Really enjoying talking with you guys. We've been on for 2 hours. We could wrap it up if you like, or we could go a few more minutes. I mean, the choice is your guys'.
Makes no never mind to me. It's up to you, Hope. You're the female, Hope. It's all on you.
It's all
Wait,
me, huh?
no. You are an adult and you can make decisions and choices too. You don't need me to lead it.
I don't
I
want
am.
Before we wrap up,
I'm good
guys,
with what you decide.
if anybody in the chat wants to ask any questions or whatever, this is the time to do it. And kind of give us a guide on where we're wanting to go with this this vlog. If you got a moment, click like and all that fun stuff. Help build this up a little bit more. That'd be much appreciated. So with that being said, yeah, I don't mind if you being on a little bit longer if you guys don't mind. Mike was looking like he was a little uncomfortable there.
Oh no, I just looking
Probably
in there.
sitting in a wooden chair, huh?
But when she falls off, she'll wake up, climb back up again. So.
Nice. So what's the furthest you guys willing to travel to help out?
I guess it all depends on the need. I mean, we traveled to Indiana once, for God's sakes, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I guess traveling to Indiana, I'll travel almost anywhere as long as Hope husband lets me take her.
He won't care.
Yeah,
I think we would go wherever.
I'll go wherever, you know.
Yeah, we were contacted many years ago now to go down to South America. Family got a hold of us and was talking about it. And, for a moment, we were like, well, yeah, that sounds like cool. And then we started thinking, well, totally different cultures and total different things. We might get down there, piss off the wrong people and never hear from us again. So we decided that, yeah, that probably at least stay in the country anyways. Maybe
exactly.
Canada.
Stay in the country.
Maybe Canada if they let me in this time.
I would go almost pretty much anywhere. I mean, why not? You know, like I said before, my best place to investigate would be my next. So let's do it. You know.
Which country would you guys like to go to investigate? Is there like any Lep Manor? Lep is L-E-P. Is that how that's pronounced in Ireland? I think it is, or is that England?
Gotta go to Ireland with all the castles, man.
I'm saying
Right,
England.
England,
UK, any of them. I mean, yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Ireland would be cool.
We'd really have to do our research though, because again, with the culture and the respect of the culture. What is that? Oh my gosh. I don't know if I want to go there, but I just saw it the other night again. I forgot the name of it. It's that forest in.
Oh, the Chinese forest there?
Yes.
Is it Chinese or Japanese?
That's where
Suicide Forest?
Yes. I'm curious about it. I think
what's
that would
that
be
place?
interesting with the area.
What's that place where they got all the baby dolls in the forest there in the woods?
The island?
Is that what that is? With all the baby dolls where Zach Beggin went?
Yeah, I think that was an island. That was a pretty creepy place.
That was weird.
Where the doll started up on their own on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That would be kind of cool.
See,
the paranormal doesn't scare me. I'm sorry, Hope. I didn't mean to overcross you.
No, that's okay.
The paranormal don't scare me. I don't care about the ghosts and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't bother me. I mean, do I get startled? Absolutely.
Oh, right.
Who doesn't?
It takes a lot, though, to startle you. It takes a lot to rattle your nerves. So,
yeah,
that basement and the scratches, I think that rattled you a little bit.
And that's what got you so rattled. Because you knew I was. So you're like, oh.
Well, no, it's when Chris, our tech guy, when he called and he's like, Hope, Mike, I think you need to come up out of the basement now. I was like, okay, we're out of there. You know, if Chris says it, I'm like, all right, we're just going to listen because he knew what he was talking about. So
James is saying that island is in Mexico with the dolls.
Okay.
Yeah,
He
that would be
brought
cool.
that doll Robert to the island, didn't he? Speaking
Somebody
of
did.
dollars,
I know Zach was there at one time because I think he cried a couple times. I think he was there. There was another group that went there too. I can't remember who it was.
what would you guys like to go to the Warrens Museum?
That's what I was going to say when Mike, I would love to go to Ed and Lorraine Warren's museum and look at those objects and items that they have collected. And is the Haunted Collector still on? Because I think it'd be cool to kind of check out his stuff too. But
I don't think he is. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm
gonna go out on video here and say this. I think personally, he had a good scam. He always seemed to find the nice stuff to say it was haunted, and boy, this Tiffany vase over here is giving me very bad vibes. You want me to take it for you?
But if you did have anything like Ed and Lorraine Warren's museum, it would be kind of neat to see, what that was. But yeah, it would be neat to go to their museum, especially the Annabelle doll, and the fact of I love how they depict it in the movies, which is completely different than what it actually looks like. But
definitely,
and the history just around all their items.
I see. Now, I don't think that would be something I'd be interested in really doing.
I think it'd be kind of cool.
Nah.
See, Mike, I got a feeling if you'd go there, you'd get yourself in a lot of trouble because there's all kinds of signs saying don't entice. Well, don't touch. Don't entice the doll, Annabelle. Don't challenge her.
Open the door. Leave the door closed. Mike,
I always gotta.
I'm always smacking your hand. Sorry.
No, it's good.
Daughter just
you tried so hard to be sneaky about it.
Man.
I know.
Yeah, this is a very unprofessional show. I mean, feel free to.
You got JPI on. You'll never know what's going to happen.
Well, that's what I like about these shows. I think a lot of people come on thinking that it's going to be a very question. Thank you. Have a nice day. That's not what I want this to be. I want this to be more like sitting around in your kitchen or wherever, just chilling and reliving tales. And when people ask questions, answer what we can. And if not, get back to them. Yeah.
Be real life, man. That's what it is.
Right.
You're not here for a very long time. Be life, man. Be real.
And I've been really having fun doing these. Actually, Matt's been talking about having people that's been on our shows do like one big broadcast of everybody into this.
She's been really good for this long. I'm surprised she's not passed out sleeping yet. So
it's been 2 hours, so she's been doing great.
Kalia's passed out on this chair. She's fine. She's a kid. She's fine.
Right.
She's fine.
Right.
Don't worry about it.
So, yeah, Scotland would be great to go to as well. Definitely. Would you guys like to meet Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Let's see here. If you guys will forgive me for getting on my phone real quick. Go ahead, talk amongst yourselves. I mean, don't even think I'm here.
Well, that's okay. I was trying to find names of certain places we were talking about because I'm like, I know what I'm talking about, but I need the names. So I don't know. Go ahead.
You really have to pay attention to customs and such, though, because otherwise, get yourself in quite a bit of a jam, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, my mind went totally. This is the part where I'd be sitting back trying to look all reverent, drinking a beer or something around the campfire, letting the old timers talk about all the great things.
Hey, Hope, what's up with that bridge in Faulkner that's supposed to be haunted by some little girl or something?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard
Where'd
of
you
that.
hear that?
It's the bridge, that little walkway off of Everett Street there or whatever, with the street that your grandma used to live on. It's on the left-hand side.
Elmwood Avenue? That, I've never heard that story, but back in the day when I was in elementary school, which was many moons ago, there was a whole thing that went around about blonde-haired, blue-eyed person was going to be sacrificed on a specific time, and there was a lot of stuff that actually happened down on that bridge, and a lot of people and stuff going on, and so I don't. It floods a lot down and through there, but I've never heard of the little girl.
Thanks.
What are you doing? Getting dinner at Sheets or
Right.
Wawa? Have you guys ever been to Wawa?
Yes,
No.
my
I love
cousin used to
Wawa.
work in one in Virginia.
I never heard of Wawa till this guy.
Yeah.
Is that where you were, Matt? Was it Wawa?
No, I was at Sheets.
Sheets. See, I knew this guy. He's always, anytime he's around camera, off camera, he's just going to eat or whatever.
There's nothing wrong.
I was down in my basement, but
His wife let him out for a few minutes.
actually,
What happens when we're hungry? We let you guys out.
that was the thing. She came down in the basement and goes, "Hey, I'm hungry." I'm like, "Yeah, me too." She goes, "Let's go to Sheets." I said, "Okay." So here we are.
So Matt, this is Mike, and Hope, this is Matt. They're in Jamestown Paranormal Investigators, as you've been watching this whole time, so you're aware of that. And he's the paranormal consultant. He's in Middle Eastern Pennsylvania, and he's dropped down in a hole or something, like just totally disappeared there. So he's
I'm still here.
he's been talking. We don't worry. We'll just keep talking amongst ourselves. He's been like you said, he's been talking about bringing all of us together in one big group. This we use StreamYard. I don't know if you're aware of that. And you could have up to 10 people at once. So if you guys are interested in like a collaboration of so many people, I'll let you know when and if it's set up, and you guys could work. It might be helpful if you guys are in the same place at that point, because then it could be one camera as opposed to two. Then we got
Basically, talk about.
You're broken up, Matt.
Of course I am.
Oh, there you go. But
Okay, there.
I would imagine that Dan and Alan from the Wisconsin Area Paranormal Society would join us. I don't know if you caught any of our past videos, but they're very friendly, very relaxed guys for Green Bay fans. I can't believe I associate with them. Being from Jamestown, are you guys Buffalo fans or not football at all?
I don't watch football.
I'm always for them winning and doing the best that they can, but I don't follow it. My husband does. So
have you ever dropped the bomb on him on what Bills stand for? The name? Oh, you've had to have heard it before.
I'm sure.
It stands for Boy, I Love Losing Super Bowls.
You don't say that to a Bills fan around here.
Or bring up Scott Norwood.
Keep that thought to yourself.
Or bring up Scott Norwood, I would imagine.
Yeah.
See, now he was my favorite Bills player since I'm a Giants fan.
I don't watch football that much anymore.
Yeah, I don't really either.
I hunt, I fish, I live hunting. That's what I do.
Speaking of hunting, you were talking about Bigfoot. Matt had mentioned that he's willing to go hunt for the big furry fella.
Why not, man?
Absolutely. Let's do it. And I knew I liked you for a reason, Mike. You hunt, you fish. Absolutely. Now, the big question, do you fly or spin?
What's that?
Fishing.
Do you fly fish or do you spin?
Actually, both. I just learned to fly fish last year, so actually, I'm still into this fly fishing thing, but I just learned last year.
We need to talk.
He's followed your page. I'm sure you can send him a message.
You can find me on Facebook, brother.
So I'll drive the van. So when we find Bigfoot and you guys come running out of woods forest, I will be in the van to drive you guys away.
I'll run the camera.
Okay.
Not running.
Yeah. We'll have the doors open in the back. You'll have the camera. I'll be behind the wheel because I'm out of there. So you guys better be jumping in.
We'll be on World Star.
I'll be here to support you from afar.
Dude, run!
Brian.
We were just talking about that last night in my video.
Right. It's funny. He's probably.
I know a girl up in Buffalo. Her name is Tara. She said that she goes Bigfoot and all the time. She goes, if you let me come and investigate some house with you, she goes, I'll take you Bigfoot hunting with me. So I might have a connection in Buffalo somewhere.
I'll sit that night out.
There's no woods in Buffalo.
That's what I said. It's all concrete. I mean, when the hell are you going to investigate Bigfoot? But she says she does that. So
everyone's looking for Bigfoot in the woods. He's actually in the cities. That's where we need to look.
No, he's in Ute.
He's in the Allegheny Woods. That's what I've been told.
That's what I'm saying. Ute.
I'm like,
we're right in the heart.
If there's a Bigfoot, it definitely would be in Allegheny.
Actually, I've heard a couple people told me up in the Russell area, up by the mall.
my mom claims, seriously, back when she was in high school, so in the 70s, late 70s, that a bunch of them had gone camping one night. And she said that they were intense and they had, back then the cast iron skillets, and they were out within, in the fire and everything. And she swears to this day that they saw a Bigfoot. And she said the sound and the smell was horrific. And she, to this day, stands behind it that they actually saw a Bigfoot. And like I said, she said the smell, she will never forget that to this day because it was just such a bad odor. And yeah, so I don't know. And this was up, I want to say, like around PA and stuff where they were. So she swears that it's real.
Nice.
That seems to be pretty common about a lot of Bigfoot activity is the sight or the smell.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know.
I guess he doesn't have a shower handy, so I would assume, yeah.
Right?
I believe in that, but
there's a place called Deloff Road here in between Frewsburg and Faulkner, and there's some crazy crap going on down there, man. There's a Bigfoot around. My uncle and them, they used to live in a house on the corner of what is that? Faulkner Frewsburg Road and Deloff. And they said they would sit outside at night on their deck and they would hear screams out back. He swear there was a Bigfoot out there.
That bridge that used to there was a death, I think, on that, and they closed it down. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we go fishing down there. We go fishing down there. Got some nice pike down there, man.
Ooh.
I don't know, because I think like Bigfoot, like some of the sounds I've heard also too, like mountain lions, like that high pitched scream,
bobcats,
or like your bobcats and your fisher cats and stuff. I don't know. I'll tell you what, though. One time I was researching Bigfoot sounds and I stumbled across a page from Ohio a few years back that had supposed recordings of it. And no joke, one night I was leaving my parents' house out in the middle of the country, 5 houses on their road. All they have is like one of those outside lights. Everything else is black, surrounded by woods. And I heard some rustling in the backyard, but I couldn't see anything. And I just got a chill like all the way through me. And I heard that scream. And this was just like soon after I had like looked up all these Bigfoot sounds. I'll tell you what, I don't think I've ever moved so fast in my life. And now that I look back on it, I think it was probably just the bobcats that are probably back there. But how do you distinguish that sound from the Bigfoot?
Well, you got to be like Bobo and be a trained professional to know. You know who Bobo is?
Yeah.
I mean, a grown man named Bobo. You trust his instincts on everything, I guess. You know?
Anything like that, you do. I mean, if he starts working with propane and such, you might have to kind of say,
Yeah.
But when it comes to things like Bigfoot, aliens, and things like that, then you take his word. Now, Matt, he's into the metaphysical bags and things like that. So that would be something that he would be able to speak more with you, Hope, than I would be able to.
And along with my wife right there, she is actually Wiccan.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
So actually, I did a video, well, 2 videos actually, and there's probably going to be a third. I call it the witching hour-ish, because as you guys can see, these usually don't last about an hour. So, but no, I did 2 videos with a couple of our friends. Ow. I just got hit. So if you guys are interested in that, we do discuss some of the more metaphysical side of it.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
But Scott, you have great timing, sir.
Don't I, though? I'm just talented like that.
But I was in the basement. I had my whole setup ready to go just in case. Because if you guys can't tell, I can even get the directions over here on my phone. But if you guys can't tell, Scott and I do join each other usually on our videos, or at least bounce ideas back and forth, or comment or harass each other, depending on the night. But now, if you guys are interested, not to plug my own show here, Scott, but
you want to do what? You're doing what? I can't hear him.
Yeah. But well, I mean, if you guys are interested, we can definitely talk more on the metaphysical and different things. If you guys want to join my show one of these weeks.
I'm always interested in the metaphysical. I don't.
Yeah.
Now, I'd like to have you bring some druids on.
Yeah, they're kind of hard to find. It's like a big.
This person knows you very well already, Matt.
Yeah, hi James. James, don't get too confident. You're next.
Like,
And I'm trying to get this guy back on my show. I'm going to interview him. He just doesn't know it yet.
There you go. Well, he does now.
all right.
I've been seeing it for weeks now, but
He's doing what again?
I can
See, I'm on top demand because I'm Tidio's most famous YouTuber video vlogger. So, I mean, I got to hold out for the big cheeses from Wawa or whatever they have, you know. Tidio's the most premier YouTuber.
Yeah, and now you're international.
Yeah, right. Nobody's ever heard of Tidio before. Population of 45, 60 if we count the chicken.
Yeah.
But I am going to get going. I got some food to eat while it's still hot. Mike, Hope, it was nice meeting you guys. Hopefully we can talk very soon. Get you guys on.
Sounds like a plan, man.
Bye, guys. Thanks for popping in, Mike. Matt. Yeah, Mike.
Whoever you are.
Your names are too close.
Okay, I guess that's the curtain call.
Later.
Have a good night, guys. Great show.
You too.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Night.
Right.
So, I do believe 2.5 hours is probably good for our first conversation.
Yeah,
Of course, you guys are welcome to come back. Even not so much with the whole everybody, which you will be welcome to, but even just with this particular channel itself.
Yeah, I think like maybe what I could do is send you some pictures, and you could pop them up there, and we could talk about.
You could do so on your end, on your own end. If you look down below where your camera settings and all that are, there's a share button there.
Yeah.
You click on that, it'll give you an option to share files from your, or you could share your computer screen.
Okay.
So when you guys come back, which sounds like you guys are interested, you could have, what I suggest to do is you set up a file on your computer, and then you just bring that up and bring it up. You have control of the video that's playing. If you decide to play a video, you get fast forward it, pause it, or whatever. And so it's a nice feature of this. It really is. I had it in my mind here what I was gonna say. Boy, I'm getting tired of saying that. Like this. I'll share this real quick so you kind of see what it is. I think I'll share it. There you go. Forgive me if it's loud. I'm trying to fast forward it. And see if you guys bring something up like this. This is right from the computer. That's my intro for pre-recorded videos. This is from the... That was me trying to mess with the next camera.
Oh, yeah.
And that was right here in this room. I didn't think I was going to show that to anybody, but then I decided, well, this would be good for a TikTok. And so you get to just fast forward it and monkey around. Oh, here's that.
And
Matt, once
the
again.
conditions were right.
See how
Now,
it's separating down there?
There again.
Yeah.
Do I believe you? Oh.
Hi, world. That was weird. Like, if you notice, you might not have been paying attention, but it felt like something was pushing in on it. And
I saw it move a little bit, and then all of a sudden, now looking at.
So
you have activity at your place?
Yeah. Nothing that's really bothered me though. Catches me off guard sometimes. As you see. But yeah, so if you have videos or whatever, that's how it would be displayed. But yeah, so what do you think of that whole green screen since you guys are here and I showed it? I forgot that was on there.
Nice. Yeah, man, just let us know when you're want us to come back, and we'll sit down and chat with you again, man. It's been fun, and I appreciate it.
No, I appreciate it. You guys make me look good. You know, having people like you guys on makes my show go to that next level, and lets people stay and watch. And the numbers stayed pretty even through the whole show. So once people were tuned in, they stayed on.
That's cool. I appreciate it. Got something, Hope?
Yeah, your green screen. You had asked what we thought. Was it standing on something?
It was attached to my ceiling.
Oh, okay.
It was ceiling to the floor. A homemade rig.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
It definitely, it caught me off guard. You see me looking in the opposite direction, like, what's going on?
Right.
But is there anything you'd like to share info-wise before you go, like emails or anything?
No, you got all our addresses on there, and just want to thank everybody for tuning in and appreciate everything. And hopefully we get to talk again soon. That's all, man.
Oh,
Thank you for
it's just a
having
matter
us.
of picking a date.
Nice.
So, well, I appreciate it, guys. It's been 2.5 hours, and I could probably go another 2.5 hours and such, but it is going. It's past 11 according to my computer time.
Mhm.
Gotta get that beauty sleep.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta maintain that.
And, it was nice having little guest appearances for you there, Hope.
Yeah, thank you. I taught her like nosedive to the floor.
World Star. And that's, you
Yeah,
just put
right.
that on the screen and it makes it all right.
Oh,
So, yeah, just get a hold of us, brother, and we'll do it again.
Oh, great. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you guys had fun. I definitely
Yeah.
had fun, and we'll see you soon. Okay, guys?
okay.
All right, thank you, sir.
Good night.
Good night.
Later, Hope.
Have a good night, Mike.
Hey, you too, buddy.
Guys, what a wonderful, wonderful night this has been for Saturday. I really enjoy doing my Saturday nights. It's always fun and entertaining. The variety of people that we've had on here so far has been great. From different areas, different backgrounds, different everything is just awesome. Really appreciate everybody sticking with me again tonight. Apologize for the late startup. Yeah, it just happens. I mean, what can you do? Next week we have James coming on. He'll be on next week. I'll start working on the details of getting the thumbnail and all that set up. I look forward to that. I never spoke to anybody from a different country, so that's going to be great. So, with that being said, James, I will get a hold of you soon. Everybody else, have a wonderful night, and God bless, and see you soon.